We're at Disneyland for the world premiere of Pirates of the Caribbean Part 3 at World's End.
Johnny Depp, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl.
Johnny Depp in Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl.
Have you ever been in a situation where you had an idea that at the moment seemed bad and unworthy, but in the end turned out to be great? Good. Me neither. But the creators of Pirates of the Caribbean they had done something incredible. They took the simplest idea of the park theme from fucking Disneyland and created one of the most popular and entertaining trilogies. And let's be clear here, I'm not saying that the idea of pirates battling with the East India Company, monsters and creatures from the sea is necessarily bad. There were many films, books, stories, and games about pirates. But at the time, the story about a lonely, complex, but entertaining pirate seemed like it could lead to a total disaster. So, how have they done that? From pirate attractions for kids to the multi-billion-dollar franchise with 5 films, multiple spin-off novels, as well as numerous video games and other publications. Today, in this video, we'll break down some of the key details in the creation of the film, we'll figure out who's responsible for turning this movie into a legendary trilogy, and how Pirates of the Caribbean still continues to influence modern cinema. So, on March 18, 1967, Pirate Bay's a dark water ride opened at Disneyland in Florida, Tokyo, and Paris. It instantly became one of the most popular and beloved attractions among the visitors. No surprise here, because this was the last attraction that Walt Disney himself participated in designing, with it opening 3 months after his death. He was instrumental in bringing this attraction to life and was involved with the project until the end of his life.
As I'd sit there while they rode the merry-go-round, did all these things, sit on a bench, eating peanuts, I felt that there should be something built, some kind of an amusement enterprise built where that the parents and the children could have fun together. So that's how Disneyland started. Well, it took many years. It was a period of maybe 15 years developing. I started with many ideas, threw them away, started all over again. And eventually it evolved into what you see today as Disneyland. But it all started from a daddy with 2 daughters wondering where he could take them, where he could have a little fun with them too.
Walt Disney wanted to introduce to the world the pirate attraction. And he did, but not in the way he thought in the first place.
But you have heard of me.
The 1990s were Disney's golden era. The Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Mulan, and Aladdin. And the screenwriters of the last one, Ted Elliott and Terry Rossio, pitched an idea for a pirate movie based on the old pirate attraction that we've talked about before. But there was no interest from any studio. Undeterred, the writing team refused to give up the dream, waiting for a studio to pick up their take on a pirate tale. But Hollywood had long declared pirate movies box office poison. Major studios shied away from the genre, associating it with financial disasters and outdated storytelling. Although Disney began adapting several theme park attractions into films throughout the 80s and the 90s, Pirates of the Caribbean was considered too risky, too old-fashioned, and too expensive to develop. The ride remained beloved but isolated, a timeless piece of theme park history without any cinematic ambition. The early 2000s changed Disney's strategy. The studio was looking for new live-action hits, and producer Jerry Bruckheimer, famous for stylish action films, saw potential where others didn't. What attracted him wasn't the nostalgia of the ride, but the supernatural angle hidden within its world. He believed a pirate movie could succeed if it wasn't traditional, but instead bold, mysterious, humorous, and filled with fantasy elements.
For having such a bleak outlook on pirates, you're well on your way to becoming one.
In 2001, Disney had Jay Walpert write a script based on Walt Disney's Pirates of the Caribbean ride. Finally, a chance for 2 talented but a bit unlucky screenwriters. When Disney chairman Dick Cook managed to get producer Jerry Bruckheimer interested in joining the project, Bruckheimer rejected Walpert's initial screenplay because it was a straight pirate movie. Stuart Beattie, another screenwriter, was brought in to rewrite the script in March 2002 due to his knowledge of piracy. But later, Bruckheimer had Elliott and Rossio work on the script. Having been inspired by the opening narration of the ride, they brought the element of the supernatural laced with lots of humor, which gave the story an edge and interested Bruckheimer. But then, something crucial happened. Probably the biggest difference maker of the entire creation of the franchise. In May 2002, Gore Verbinski signed on to direct Pirates of the Caribbean, with Johnny Depp and Jeffrey Rush in negotiations the following months to star. This single, most transformative moment in the franchise's history by far. Johnny Depp changed the whole process and reimagined a character at first expected to be a serious, tough hero in the traditional style. Instead, as we all know, Johnny Depp delivered a performance inspired partly by Keith Richards and partly by silent film tricksters, eccentric, unpredictable, and humorous. Johnny Depp's unique style for Captain Jack Sparrow will eventually become the face of the franchise. He added quickly mannerisms, like a slurred speech-like walk and a bright pose, to portray the character as both as a clumsy drunkard and a master strategist, creating a complex and charming anti-hero that defied typical heroic conventions. Johnny Depp invested tremendous amount of effort into developing the character of Captain Jack Sparrow, and that's the reason number one why Pirates of the Caribbean became great. He actively pushed back against Disney executives who wanted a more conventional hero, insisting on preserving the character's quirks. Johnny Depp based Jack Sparrow's swagger, slurred speech, and unpredictable behavior on the Rolling Stones guitarist Keith Richards. He envisioned pirates as the rock stars of the 1700s, colorful, wild-eyed, and ragged. Johnny Depp developed a distinctive, drunken, unsteady gait, sweeping gestures, and a playful, high-pitched voice. This gave the character a chaotic, unpredictable energy that seemed simultaneously funny and slightly dangerous. A significant amount of his dialogue and many memorable comedic moments were unscripted. Johnny Depp not only helped develop the complex character, but also contributed to the production, helping to move the script forward. Johnny's contribution to the script was substantial, primarily through improvisation, which added many of the character's most memorable moments and defined his unique personality. As I said, numerous famous lines and scenes were unscripted additions by Johnny Depp, which the director Gore Verbinski embraced. Johnny Depp's commitment to his vision for Jack Sparrow as a chaotic and predictable trickster rather than standard hero fundamentally shaped the narrative. He ensured the character was not a straightforward hero like Han Solo, which Disney executives initially wanted. According to screenwriter Terry Rossio, Johnny Depp was heavily involved in story conceptualization, participating in late-night dinners where ideas were discussed. He suggested specific plot lines, such as the introduction of an official Spanish contingent, which added layers to the narrative. And that wasn't enough. Johnny Depp's influence extended to the visual and behind-the-scenes production aspect. He collaborated closely with the costume and makeup departments, adding personal touches like his gold teeth, which he intended to keep permanently, specific rings, and the unique assortments of trinkets woven into his hair and beard, all of which contributed to the character's rich, authentic look. When it came time for sequels, Johnny Depp made it clear he would not return unless the original screenwriters, Ted and Terry, were hired back, ensuring creative continuity and a consistent vision to the franchise. Johnny Depp famously resisted early pressure from Disney executives who were considered firing him over his eccentric portrayal. Producer Jerry Bruckheimer ultimately supported Johnny Depp's vision, proving that his unique take was the key to the franchise's success.
Or not. The immortal Captain Sparrow.
Ooh, I like that.
Come sunset, it won't matter.
So, Johnny Depp. Man, he was instrumental and a huge part of the success of the Pirates of the Caribbean. Johnny Depp's salary was so huge that he could afford a great house, a great life, and a great bed, until someone came along to ruin that. While Johnny Depp's performances as Captain Jack Sparrow was a central element, the success of the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy can be attributed to the several other key factors that combined to create a global phenomenon against initial low expectations. Gore Verbinski's direction. Reason number 2. No one will argue that the director is the most important piece of the film. His vision, his style, will define how successful the movie will be. Like Peter Jackson with The Lord of the Rings, or Christopher Nolan with the Dark Knight trilogy, Pirates of the Caribbean has its own director who had the courage and creativity to create something remarkable. His name is Gore Verbinski. Gore Verbinski was born in Tennessee in 1964. Like the rest of us, he grew up watching a lot of movies and wanted to make a career in the film industry. He graduated from UCLA with a Bachelor of Fine Arts. But his early career included being in a rock bands and being an award-winning commercial and music video director. His inventive work in advertising for companies including Nike, Coca-Cola, and Budweiser earned him a number of awards. After completing a short film, The Ritual, which he both wrote and directed, Gore Verbinski's work caught the eye of Steven Spielberg, who offered him his first feature film, visually stunning family comedy Mouse Hunt. The film was hit globally, and he soon followed up the success with The Mexican and the hit thriller The Ring, which shocked the audience and grossed over $250 million worldwide and made Naomi Watts a household name. He's also, by the way, an Oscar-winning director in the category of the Best Animated Film alongside Johnny Depp as well.
And the Oscar goes to Rango Gore Verbinski!
His beautiful and quite unique work with Rango made him an award-winning director. But before Rango and his Oscar, he had his project of a lifetime with Pirates of the Caribbean. From the outset, Verbinski's main idea was to set a fantasy story in a world that felt tangible and historically significant. He rejected the clean look typical of many historic buildings, opting for a more residential aesthetic. Verbinski insisted on using practical effects whenever possible. He demanded fully functional, ocean-faring ships to be built, and chose difficult on-location filming sites over stereo sound stages. This commitment extended to the details of production design and costuming, which were layered with grim and texture. This approach served a crucial purpose. By making the physical world of the pirates feel authentic and rugged, the supernatural elements, the skeletal pirates under moonlight, the monstrous Davy Jones, the maelstrom became more believable and impactful to the audience. Perhaps Verbinski's most important contribution was his innovative synthesis of classic action adventure with the dark undertones of supernatural horror. The initial pitch for a pirate movie was a tough sell in Hollywood. The genre had been dormant for years. Verbinski revitalized it by embracing a tonality that balanced darkness, character-driven humor, and genuine excitement. The films never shied away from mature, gothic imagery. This horror sensibility provided the necessary tension and depth, preventing the movies from feeling like a mere theme park ride adaptation. He managed the visual style of the films, ensuring that the dark elements were gritty and believable enough to provide tension, while still allowing enough visual flair and humor to keep the film from becoming a purely R-rated horror picture. He created the container in which all the chaos could thrive. Verbinski's style of direction was intensely immersive and collaborative, often described as managing controlled chaos. He was famous for working on set all day and storyboarding all night, rarely leaving his post or delegating to second units. He controlled the scale of the production, prioritizing spontaneous creativity and strong character arcs over rigid plotting. This hands-on approach allowed actors like Johnny Depp, Orlando Bloom, and Keira Knightley the freedom to develop their characters organically. He was not just directing action sequences, he was orchestrating performances within those sequences, when groundbreaking visual effects were necessary, as they were for creating the all-CGI character Davy Jones. Verbinski used them to enhance human emotion and storytelling rather than replace it with a pure spectacle. Gore Verbinski tried to do everything in his power to ensure that we, as a viewer, can dive into the world of Pirate, which was mystical and mysterious. Even today, the ocean isn't even explored for the 5%, and back then, setting out in the heart of the sea was something supernatural and dangerous, as there were so many myths and legends about monsters and creatures that roam the seas and the oceans. That's the reason number 3, rich mythology and lore. The true genius behind the success of the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise lies not just in Johnny Depp's performance and Gore Verbinski's direction, but in the creative team's ability to transform the sparse narrative of a theme park ride into a rich, expansive universe brimming with compelling mythology. This world-building effort provided the essential ballast that allowed the series to sail confidently into sequels and to capture the global imagination. The original Disneyland attraction provided a simple aesthetic: pirates, treasure, and the Caribbean Sea. Screenwriters Ted and Terry, however, injected a vital new element: the supernatural. The introduction of the Aztec gold curse and the Curse of the Black Pearl fundamentally shifted the genre from historical adventure to a dark fantasy. This single narrative mechanism established that magic was real within this world, opening the floodgates for an expansive lore-driven saga. This mythology was carefully woven from the real-world maritime superstitions and literary classics. The legends of ghost ships and cursed sailors were not just window dressing, they were the engine of the plot. By introducing the Black Pearl as a vessel crewed by the undead, the filmmakers immediately established stakes that were higher and more fantastical than any previous pirate film. The lore expanded rapidly in the sequels, building an entire ecosystem of maritime myth. Dead Man's Chest introduced the legendary Davy Jones, a figure ripped from sailors' superstition and given a heart-wrenching tragic backstory. The creation of the Kraken, the Leviathan of legend, provided a terrifying, tangible threat that elevated the series' action to an epic scale. These creatures were not merely villains, they were integral parts of a complex supernatural world order, governed by the sea goddesses like Calypso. Crucially, the mythology extended beyond monsters to the social structure of the pirate world itself. The concept of the Pirate Brethren Court and the intricate rules of the Pirate Code provided the framework for a society with its own laws and politics. This detailed world building created a sense of history and depth, making the narrative feel authentic despite its fantastical elements. The richness of this mythology was a necessary ingredient for the franchise's endurance. Simple adventure films often struggle to generate compelling sequels, but a world bursting with lore offers infinite possibilities. Each new installment was able to peel back another layer of the universe, from searching for the Fountain of Youth to confronting the Spanish Navy and ancient ghost captains, without ever feeling entirely disconnected from the established rules of the world. In essence, the mythology provided the question why behind the adventure. The curses, The monsters and the codes weren't just plot devices. They were the heart of the Pirates of the Caribbean universe, turning a simple theme park ride into a grand, immersive epic that continues to resonate with audiences worldwide. And that's how you do it. From a small idea that came from a Disneyland attraction to a worldwide franchise with billions of dollars in revenue. Ultimately, the triumph of the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy proves the immense value of conviction and creativity in Hollywood. The series found success not by following a safe, conventional path, but because everyone involved truly believed in their wild idea and were brave enough to take a huge risk. This shared passion forged an enduring pop culture classic, showing that sometimes a leap of faith is exactly what's needed to make a masterpiece. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe and like this video. I promise there will be more videos about your favorite films and TV series.